Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is Monday, it is Bank Holiday Monday, and we are here to talk about Brazilian midfielder Allan, who looks imminent to sign for Everton Football Club. It's just a matter of probably days, if not hours now, before the announcement is made by the football club. Obviously, we spoke yesterday in the little video that we done yesterday afternoon about Allan and all of the rumours that have been circulating over the last sort of 24 hours or so. Pretty much every reliable journalist on the planet confirming that he will move to Everton Football Club, from Fabrizio Romano to Damasio, The Telegraph, The Guardian, Sky Sports, everybody really confident that Allan will be an Everton player come the next coming days and weeks. Everton Twitter and Everton social media has truly gone into full investigation mode today. The inspector gadgets are out, and the little magnifying glasses are out to try and find any traces of where Allan may be in the world. There was some rumours this morning and late yesterday evening that he wouldn't be training with Napoli, and that he literally would be on his way to England to complete his medical to officially sign for Everton Football Club. We've had loads of stuff going on today, from planes being tracked. Typical Everton. This is the Everton Twitter that I like, trying to find out where a transfer target is, and if a player's joining Everton Football Club, whereabout they are on the day that we all think they're going to join Everton Football Club. There was a private jet that was tracked from Naples that people believe was going to land in Liverpool John Lennon Airport. I think it ended up landing in Luton instead, but people are still confident on that one. Allan's barber has been tracked down from Napoli, and he has put a post up thanking him for his fantastic time at the football club with the hashtag Premier League and Everton. So it's full investigation mode now for Brazilian midfielder Allan, and for me, I do think that we are a matter of hours away before an official announcement. There was a couple of bits of information after the video that we done yesterday from Napoli's point of view, and his agent coming out and saying it's very close, but it's not quite confirmed. But we've pretty much had as much confirmation as we need from Napoli's side of things. Napoli president has come out today and basically said that Allan has been at the training ground this afternoon to say his final goodbyes, and he will move to Everton Football Club in the coming days. So again, that's the Napoli president, the same fella who was coming out last week and saying that he wouldn't be budged and he wouldn't be bullied, and they've got impenetrable armour in the transfer window in regards to not dropping their prices. It seems, like I said, we don't know the official price yet. We won't know that until the transfer is confirmed, but through all of the journalists and stuff, it seems like it's around about 25 million euros. Listen, we all know all this. We all know that Allan's signing to Everton Football Club is pretty much imminent at this point, and if it's not going to be within the next few hours, it certainly will be within the next couple of days or so. The players desperately wanted to come to Everton Football Club for quite some time, turning down Juventus, turning down Tottenham, turning down Atletico Madrid, sides that he could have gone and played consistently in and in European competitions and been at the highest level, but he has been desperate to join Carlo Ancelotti at Everton Football Club. So I want to sit down today and talk about what exactly he will bring to Everton, because we've spoken about the rumours before. We know where we're all sat with Allan. We know he's more than likely going to come in. It would take an absolute monumental fuck up for him to not sign for Everton Football Club now. For me, like I said, I believe we're only a matter of hours away from an official announcement from the football club. It's just that medical that needs sorting out, and I dare say a couple of bits of papers and various different things signing and sending off before the announcement is confirmed. But the Napoli president has said that he'll be on his way to Everton Football Club. He desperately wants to join, so I can't see there being any issue in regards to personal terms or anything like that. So we know that the player is more than likely going to sign for Everton, and we know around about what the fee is going to be. So I want to sit down and talk about what exactly he brings to Everton Football Club, because it's all good being excited about a player coming in and being excited about Everton making a new signing and being a player that will improve us. But how exactly will he improve us? What exactly will he bring to our midfield that we desperately need? For me, Allan is the type of player that we probably needed most in this transfer window. Now, coming off the back of last season, we sat down and we spoke about what we desperately need in the upcoming transfer window, obviously being this one that we're in. And we spoke about the need for creativity in that midfield and somebody that links the play together from the defence to the attack. We've got no creativity whatsoever. There's no players that, can chip in and can win you the game out of nowhere. There's no players that'll get 5 or 10 assists a season. And we also spoke about a player that comes in with a bit of ferociousness, that covers sort of every blade of grass on the pitch, that gets in people's faces, that throws the tackles in where they need to be thrown in, that breaks the play up. Because one thing that we seen was noticeably sort of absent from our midfield performances last season. There was a lot of noticeable absences from our midfield performances last season. But one thing in particular was that ability to break up the play. As soon as the team sort of got the ball and pushed through our midfield, it was very, very easy for sides to break us down, and then they were almost faced with our defence, as quick as they would have liked, because our midfield was very much non-existent. We don't have players that get in the faces of players. We don't have players that throw tackles in the middle of the park, that break the play down, that, pick the ball up and move forward with it. We just don't have any of that. It's pretty much non-existent, isn't it, our midfield at the moment? And like I said, the two things that we desperately needed in that centre midfield position coming into the next season was somebody that's got that creative edge and that creative spark that can take us forward, and that can, bring other players into the game and really, really have an impact on the game, and somebody that'll sit there and break the play up, that'll get about the pitch, that'll not afraid to throw a tackle in, not afraid to get in people's faces, not afraid to give it 110%, and that player is Allan. Allan fits that type of bill. Now look, he's not going to get you 15, 20 goals a season. He's not that type of creative player that we also need, but I think it was very, very important that we realised coming into this summer is that we need two different types of midfielders this summer, and I think that's why we're seeing James Rodriguez being linked very, very heavily with the football club. Now we'll sit down and we'll talk about James Rodriguez in a very similar video on what he will bring to Everton Football Club the closer his transfer becomes, the closer he comes to joining Everton Football Club. But Allan very, very much fits into the first column of a player that'll break the play down, that'll get in people's faces, that'll throw tackles in, that isn't afraid to get himself in dangerous positions, isn't afraid to break the play up, isn't afraid to upset somebody on the pitch. He's got that type of attitude that we so desperately lack at Everton Football Club, whether it be in centre midfield, whether it be in the defence, whether it be in the attack. We just don't have anybody that wants to really get their socks dirty, that doesn't mind throwing a tackle in, that doesn't mind the opposition getting in the face and they'll give it back to him. That leadership quality that we have lacked so heavily on the pitch for a long time now. Of course, we've got your Richarlisons and your Mason Holgate who are very, very young and who are showing those types of characteristics that players need to have in order to be able to take their team forward and have those real leadership qualities. But in that centre of midfield, we just don't have anybody. There's no leaders there. There's no players that pick their teammates up. Everybody just seems to do the same job, whether it be Andre Gomez, whether it be Tom Davies, whether it be Gylfi Sigurdsson. They all seem to do the same job as that. On the ball, they're not too bad and they'll bring other players into the play. But off the ball, they don't want to get the socks dirty. They don't want to chase players around. They don't want to throw slide tackles in. They don't want to scream. They don't want to shout. They don't want to give... Well, what it seems like, they don't want to give it 110% on the pitch, and what we know Allan will bring in is that attitude of throwing tackles in and saying, I'm giving it 150% here, so every single one of you best be giving the same amount as me, or you're going to get an absolute bollocking. And that type of attitude and that type of willingness on the football pitch will bring other players into the game naturally, and it will improve other players naturally, because his ability to... let's say Tom Davies is playing with them, or Gylfi Sigurdsson playing with them, Andre Gomez, whoever it may be for argument's sake, and they're not having the greatest of games, which is fine. Again, what Evertonians demand as a fan base is that players give it 110%. A player can be absolutely dreadful and not be having as great as the game, but if he's giving it 150%, 110%, then we haven't really got much to moan about. But one thing we've been very, very critical of are Everton sides in recent years, certainly the midfield over the last 12 months or so, is that they just don't seem to be giving it 110%. They don't seem to be running around. They don't seem to be wanting to be on the pitch. They don't seem to be wanting to get involved. Now, if you've got a player like Allan next to an Andre Gomez, or next to a Gylfi Sigurdsson, or a Tom Davies, or an Abdoulaye Doucouré, or James Rodriguez, whoever it may be, and he's throwing tackles in left, right and centre, and he's breaking up the play, and he's getting in people's faces, and his tempo is up here, then naturally the tempo of the players around them will rise, because they will have to rise, otherwise they'll get massively caught out. You will not be able to have a player like Allan whose tempo is up here, and he's in people's faces, and he's throwing tackles in, and he's breaking the play up, and he's picking the ball up, and he's moving it, and he's not afraid to get the ball. You won't be able to have a player whose tempo is that, and then a player like Gylfi Sigurdsson who's standing around and pointing, and who doesn't want the ball, and who isn't putting a tackle in, and who isn't getting involved in the game, because they'll just get found out massively quickly. And if anything, Allan will turn around and go, listen, get your fucking arse in gear now, or get off the pitch, because you're not helping me. I'm doing all of this on my own. So if you're not willing to put in the same work rate as me, then do us a favour and leave. And I think Carlo Ancelotti will have a very similar attitude to it as well. Obviously, we know 29 years old, Brazilian international. Again, there was a lot of people when the rumour was first put out there that we were in for Allan and that we could possibly bring him in. There was a lot of people that were a little bit hesitant over the transfer fee and how much he would cost to the football club, and a lot of people saying, well, he's 29 years old and obviously there's no guarantee that he'd be able to come in and instantly have an impact on the team because he's not played in the Premier League before, he hasn't got any Premier League experience, and that's fair enough, and they're all warranted sort of worries, I suppose, because, you know, you're paying 25, 30 odd million pounds when all the bonuses are included for a 29-year-old who there is no guarantee that will be able to come in and instantly have that impact. There was another worry regarding Allan coming in, and that is that type of attitude of a player like Allan who throws a tackle in and who gets his socks dirty and who isn't afraid to, you know, let players know that they're there. He is going to have to be careful in the Premier League because the Premier League is a league that is officiated by referees that are absolutely atrocious and cannot do their job. So he's going to have to be careful when he's throwing tackles in and when he's breaking the play up, that he's doing it in a very clever way and he's not doing it in a way where he's going to pick up an easy yellow card, because the last thing that a player like Allan needs is to pick up a stupid yellow card in the first 10 or 15 minutes of a game, and then a lot of his game is depleted then because he can't get in people's faces, he can't throw the tackles in because he's on the, you know, he's on a knife's edge really as to whether the referee will give him another one. So he has to be clever with it. But he's 29 years old, he's played under Carlo Ancelotti before. This is something that massively caught my attention with Allan over the last few weeks or so, as he's been a player that has been linked heavily with Juventus, been linked heavily with Atletico Madrid, Tottenham, a lot of football clubs that offered Napoli good deals for Allan. Juventus offered a player plus cash deal for the midfielder, and Napoli would have taken that deal, but the player was adamant himself that he wanted to join Everton and he wanted to play under Carlo Ancelotti. And Allan was one of the players that was sort of, it became quite apparent as soon as Carlo Ancelotti became Everton manager that Ancelotti was going to target Allan, and Allan was going to be one of those players that he wanted to bring in to Everton Football Club. Every manager has them when they sign a new contract with a new club. Every manager has those players, whether it be players at the top of their, you know, career, whether it be players like Ronald Koeman had Cuco Martina, Martin Stecklenburg, Roberto Martinez had Kone, Aruna Kone, you had Anton Alcatraz, you had Joel Robles. Those players that sort of follow the manager and who want to move wherever the manager moves, and Allan seemed to be that player because he was the first player that was really solidly linked with Everton Football Club after Carlo Ancelotti come in, and we knew what he could bring. We know he's a player that, you know, we desperately need in the squad, but he was a player that sort of from that day made it quite apparent that if he was going to leave Napoli, his next transfer was going to be to Everton to play under Carlo Ancelotti. And that relationship says a lot for me. That relationship between the player and the manager says a lot, because it says that the manager trusts the player and the player is desperate to play under the manager and believes that he gets the best out of him. Now, that's the type of attitude we want at Everton Football Club. We don't want players that have got the attitude of a Pierre-Emile Højbjerg who are saying, well, I'll come to your football club, but only if you're the last sort of option and I've got no other option, I'll come. Or players that are sort of thinking, well, I'm weighing up my options. We want players that hear the name Everton Football Club and think, I want to go and fucking play for that football club. I want to play under that manager. And that's the type of pull that Carlo Ancelotti has. And for any concern that any Everton fan has about Allan or any other player that may come in this summer, I'm simply sitting back thinking, as if Carlo Ancelotti is giving this transfer the go-ahead, then I am completely fine with it. I understand people's concerns about various different players that we've been linked with, not just Allan, but if Carlo Ancelotti wants these players at Everton Football Club, then I want these players at Everton Football Club, regardless of their age, regardless of how much it's going to cost, regardless of if they've got Premier League experience before. If Carlo Ancelotti, a 3-time Champions League winning manager, a manager that's won 4 of the top 5 European leagues, a manager that's won World's Best Manager 3 times, if he looks at a player and thinks he is going to come in and definitely improve this squad, then I am more than happy to agree with him and say, fair enough, bring the player in. And, you know, on another hand, on another positive, if that player is looking at Carlo Ancelotti going, I want to come and play for Everton, I want to come and play under him again, that is my desire, that is where I want to be, then again, even more reason is to bring the player into Everton Football Club. One thing that Allan brings that is most noticeable to Evertonians over anything, regardless of, you know, at the moment, putting his quality on the pitch and his ability on the pitch and his passing range and his ability to break the play up, putting that aside, he brings that leadership quality on the pitch. Jeff's made a fantastic comment, and we'll get into the live comments in just a moment. If you're enjoying the stream, by the way, please do hit that like button. Nearly 100 people watching already. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Honestly, it means so much to me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, share the live stream. Let's get as many people in here as possible. Leave a like if you're enjoying. But Jeff says Allan is a perfect Everton player, committed, snide, class on the ball, and never ever quits. How many players can we honestly say we have got in our current squad that have got all of those characteristics? Okay, you could say Richarlison. Okay, you could say Mason Holgate, but both of those players are very young. Both of those players have still got a lot of room to improve, and both players have got a ceiling higher than Everton Football Club's at the moment. Allan is a player that brings all of those qualities, but he's got the experience. He's played at the highest level. He's played under the manager before. Allan won't be coming into Everton Football Club allowing Gylfi Sigurdsson to stand around and not touch the ball for 15 minutes and point where he should be. Allan won't be coming into Everton Football Club to watch Tom Davies run a ball out of play or play a sloppy pass. He won't be doing it. There's a reason why Carlo Ancelotti's targeted Allan as the first name to bring into Everton Football Club and the primary target, and that is because he brings in everything that we are desperately lacking. Those leadership qualities in the centre of the park. They're probably the most key position on the pitch. Now, okay, your striker's key because he scores your goals, and your defence are key because they stop the goals, etc. But the midfield is the most key position on the pitch for me. It links up the play between the defence and the attack, and if your midfield is very poor and they're easily played against, then you're going to come under a lot of pressure, and you best had hope that your strikers are on top form and your defenders are on top form, or you're not going to win many football games. So your midfield is a massively key position, and Allan brings those leadership qualities in a position that we just haven't got at the moment. He plays with pride, he plays with grit, he plays with snide, he'll throw himself into tackles. He's that sort of old school footballer that was a necessity in the 90s. Your Roy Keanes, your Duncan Fergusons, I know they played in different positions. Even Gerrard from the other side of the park who played for them, he's that type of player that was a necessity 10 or 15 years ago, and for me is still a necessity to this day. Now, okay, you need a little bit more quality on the pitch now, and you can't just have that, well, I can throw a tackle in and I can get in people's faces, because it doesn't work as much in this day and age. You still need that quality, you still need that ability, and Allan has that ability, by the way. Allan's got the ability to pick the ball up, to move it on, to break the play up, to pass it through to the forwards. He's got a good passing range. Yes, he doesn't get involved with many goals and assists, however, he's in the background of all of those functions. He is the main sort of part in spinning that wheel around for the attackers to ultimately finish off. But for me, those characteristics of a player are still an absolute necessity in this day and age. A player that'll break the play up, a player that'll get in other people's faces, a player that'll throw a tackle in, somebody that'll make their opposition know that they are there. And if you've got a player like Allan who is throwing a tackle in a game of football, and we're playing a side who might not necessarily have that sort of bite in the midfield, and within the first 10 minutes he throws an hard tackle in and looks at the opposition and they think, shit, what have we come up against here? He's a top player here. And he's got that grit. I don't want that battle. Allan will come up against a lot of centre midfielders in the Premier League who will look and go, I don't want that battle, I don't want that fight, I don't want to match that, I can't match that. And that's exactly what we need at this football club. Carl has donated £20 to the live stream. Thank you very much, Carl. He's put a little sort of emoji gif thing which says, thanks for being you. Thank you very much, Carl. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. Big thanks to everybody in the live comments. It means so much. We've got nearly 100 people watching. We will get in the comments in just a moment to hear what everybody has to say about the potential signing, and it looks like Allan will become an Everton player. But that's exactly what he brings. Like I said, he brings that snideness, he plays with pride, he plays with passion, he gives it 110% every time he goes out on the pitch, and he plays with that those leadership qualities that we are desperately lacking in centre midfield. And he is exactly the type of centre midfielder that we need. Has he got all of the creativity in the world? No. Will he score you 10-15 goals? No. Will he get you 10-15 assists? No. But that's why we're looking at James Rodriguez. That's why we're probably looking at other players to fit into the team that can offer us that. But he is a player that we have nobody like him at the football club at the moment. Somebody that has got that grit, determination, firepower, energy, passion, leadership quality. Somebody that will drag everybody forward, because he will not allow players to waltz around the football pitch pointing their finger at other players. He won't allow Gylfi Sigurdsson to stand there going, pass it to him, don't pass it to me. He won't allow Tom Davies to run away from the ball and not want it. He will demand 110% out of everybody, and Carlo Ancelotti knows that, and Carlo Ancelotti understands that, and that's why he's bringing him in to the football club. So just a word on his stats, but before we get into the live comments. Played 23 games in Serie A last season, spent 9 games out injured. I believe he had the flu at some point in the season as well, which obviously is going to keep you out for a couple of weeks, but isn't something that you look at as a long-term injury issue. 23 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. Like I said, he's not a goal-scoring midfielder. He's not a player that, we're looking to bring in that's going to contribute to 15, 20 goals a season, but that's not what he's being brought in to do. He's being brought in to be the brick shit house that sits next to that player that comes in and contributes to all of the goals, and that's where we're probably looking at James Rodriguez. 6 Champions League appearances, 4 Coppa Italia appearances. Napoli fans very, very, very complimentary of him. The only sort of issues they had with him as of recent times is probably his heart hasn't been quite in there, because he's known that he's coming towards the end of his career at that football club, and he is going to move on. He was heavily linked with a move to PSG about a year or so ago as well, and I think he really, really wanted that move, but he didn't ultimately get it. But prior to him sort of feeling like it was the end of his time at Napoli Football Club, pretty much every Napoli fan I've seen on social media and have spoken to have said that he's one of the best defensive midfielders on his day. He is one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, and if you can bring back that Allan with the passion and with the intensity and with the willingness to fight and with the willingness to win, he is one of the best defensive midfielders on this planet, bar none. They say he's got that grit, he's got that determination, he's got that fight to want to win, and I honestly think this could be one of the best signings, and I'm going to put this out on a limb here, and it mightn't work, look like every signing, it mightn't work, but I'm going to put it out on a limb that this could be one of the best signings that Everton have made in the last decade or so, if not more, if it works, because Allan is a player that will, like I said, he will bring something that we haven't got at the moment. He's captain material. He's got those leadership qualities that nobody else in the centre of the park has, and he is somebody that we desperately, desperately need. He plays with pride and passion. He's constantly breaking up the plays. Press is really, really good. He presses teams. Like I said, he lifts players with his performances. I'm sure you've seen that video of him making that tackle on social media, which is just a standard tackle where he knocks the ball out of play from an opposition, but he celebrates as if he's scored, and it's that desire that we want at the football club, is a player that will make a last-ditch tackle and will get up and go, fucking get in, come on, because he knows how important that is, and he knows how much that means to him and the football club. And like I said, one of the biggest things for me and the most noticeable is that desire to come in and that desire to play for Carlo Ancelotti and Everton Football Club. We've seen it a lot since Ancelotti's come in. Decore has spoken about his want to play for Everton. James Rodriguez has spoken about his want to play for Everton, but no more than Allan, I think, at the moment. We haven't seen a player quite like Allan who has said, no, I don't care whether it's Juventus, I don't care whether it's Barcelona, I don't care whether it's Tottenham, I don't care who comes in for me, I want to play for Everton and I want to play under Carlo Ancelotti. And even if he wasn't that good of a footballer or didn't offer us that much, you'd look at that and you'd think, well, you know what, he's got the right attitude, he's got the right determination, he's got the right passion, he's got the right want to play for the football club. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can improve us. Let alone a player that would massively improve us, and Allan having that type of attitude and having that type of desire. It's exactly what we need, and it's exactly what we like to see in a football player. Anyway, let's get into the live comments now. 113 people currently watching. Let me know how excited you all are about the signing of Allan. Like I said, for me, I think we're only hours away, if not days, hours away from him being announced as an Everton player. Napoli's president, if you just joined us, Napoli's president pretty much confirming the signing earlier on today. He said that Allan has said his final goodbyes to his Napoli teammates and he will sign for Everton Football Club. Evertonians have been in typical detective work and tracked down his barber, who has put up a post thanking him for all his amazing times and being a fantastic friend and wishing him luck in his future, and using the hashtags Everton and the hashtags Premier League. So it looks like this is pretty much on. And we all know that anyway. Like I said, we spoke yesterday about all of the reliable journalists coming out and speaking on the transfer and speaking on the fact that he will join Everton Football Club. So it's very, very exciting times. Let me know your thoughts on Allan in the comment section down below. If you're watching live, let me know, of course. Really, really do appreciate each and every one of you joining us. 36 likes, 111 people watching. If you could get that to 50, it would mean a massive, massive amount to me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe subscribe as well. Spudbot says, hey Cam, how's your day? Also, what happened to the Rafinha rumours? Weird ones, the Rafinha rumours. It was on Saturday afternoon, I think, and it was coming from a publication who actually quoted an article from the Liverpool Echo, and the article didn't quite exist. So I think that was just a little bit of paper talk, to be perfectly honest, and I'm not in such belief of that. I'm not too bad as well, mate. I hope you're doing well. Remy says, it's done, Cam. Well, there you go. Like I said, we are just waiting for the official confirmation from the football club, but I'm confident that the deal is over the line now, and it's probably just awaiting a medical, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. He also says, how's everyone doing? I'm not too bad, mate. How are you doing yourself? El Bentley says, actually quite surprised we have the funds to keep going and get both Allan and Rodriguez, especially after the lockdown. Well, yeah, me too, mate. But again, you know, maybe, you know, I dare say we'll be looking to sell players come the end of the transfer window and move players on, you know, because ultimately we need to. There's a lot of deadwood at the football club that needs to be moved on. There's a lot of players that just aren't good enough to be here. Liam says, like the top Cam, very smart lad, best of the lot, I think. Yeah, picked this up today. The new third goalkeeper kit, the black and gold number. Listen, I was in town today picking some bits up for me holiday, and I walked into the Everton shop and I seen they had a medium, and I thought, you know what, it would be absolutely rude to not pick it up. It's the last medium they've got. It looks absolutely stunning in real life, so I'm getting it. So I picked it up. Craig says, imagine Rodriguez, Allan, Decore, Delone, Romero be a great window, but can't see us getting any more signings if we get those three midfielders. Yeah, it will be a fantastic window, mate. It's going to be really, really interesting to see where the Decore situation lies. Once Allan is confirmed, and hopefully James Rodriguez will go through as well, it'll be really interesting to see where the club then lies on Decore and whether they'll still pursue that or whether they'll walk away from that because of the signings of Rodriguez and Allan. Mike says, Rodriguez looks like it's done by the looks of it. Don't know where he fits in 4-4-2, so I think it will be a switch to a 4-4-3. Spudbot says, James Rodriguez deal is done, 25 million. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Again, there's a lot of journalists saying that it is done, but there's a lot of journalists saying that the negotiations are still sort of in that stage of trying to find out a fee and, you know, sort everything out. So I'm not 100% convinced the Rodriguez deal is done quite yet, but I do think that the Allan deal is, you know, pretty much a go. JW says, love the shirt. Thank you very much, mate. Spudbot says, I think he gives us more exposure. He does. Craig says, people mentioned about James being 20 now, but he's an upgrade on Sigurdsson, and we aren't in a position to get the best young players in the world. Yeah, you're right, mate. Ewan says, Victory says, Everton move a chance for Rodriguez to deliver on his potential. That head's open, so if he does come in. Spudbot says, heard we didn't play the Blackburn game, not to be disgraced. Well, we were meant to be playing Blackburn in a pre-season friendly. Tomorrow it was meant to be. I think it was a 6 o'clock kickoff. We spoke about it in yesterday's little video that we done. Everton have confirmed that fixture has been cancelled. Now, they didn't confirm a reason as to why it had been cancelled, but I think it's because of a spike in cases of COVID-19 in the local area of Blackburn, and that's why they've just sort of knocked it on the head, which again, it's not great, because ideally we would have liked to have played that fixture to give us the most preparation for the oncoming season, but you know, it is what it is. If it's for the safety of the players and the staff and everybody involved, then that's all that matters, isn't it? Wayne says Rodriguez might play right wing. He is left-footed. You're right. El Bentley says Arias from Atletico would be an upgrade on our right back position. He would. Again, he is a player that we've been linked with, so it'll be interesting to see where that one goes as well. Is Cal saying Allan's barber tagged Everton on his post while cutting his hair? He did. He hashtagged Everton as well in the hashtags about the player potentially moving. So I think everybody, listen, it's as done can be without him standing in Finch Farm holding the shirt. And I said it in my video yesterday, listen, if you're a person that doesn't really believe in transfer rumours and as somebody that sort of doesn't listen to that and isn't really going to listen until the player's standing at Finch Farm with the shirt, that's completely fair enough and that's completely understandable as well. But if you do believe in transfer rumours, then there's not many more reliable and that come than what we've heard already about Allan. Holly Fletcher is absolutely buzzing. We've been crying out for a tenacious midfielder like Allan since Garner left, putting fires out in the middle of the park. Exactly, tenacious. That's another key word I'd use for Allan. Spot on, that tenacity that we desperately need. Eugene says Everton could agree James deal by Wednesday, hopefully. Spudbot says if we get Allan, Rodriguez and Decore, we are playing a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 diamond. Potentially, can't think of enough names. Just very disappointing. Keane's new contract. He played awful basically the whole season and had 2 decent games after lockdown and gets a 5-year contract. I actually think he was good for the remaining 9 games of the season, to be honest. Each and every one of them. Maybe one game out of the 9 he looked a little bit shaky, but for the majority of them I thought he looked, you know, quite good. So listen, ultimately He's been given the contract. I think Carlo Ancelotti's putting a lot of faith in Michael Keane, and I think the reason for that is that we now don't rely so heavily on bringing in another centre-half because obviously of what went on with the Gabriel deal and that fallen to bits. I think Everton are now trying to focus on the positions in which we need to strengthen in as a matter of urgency. And for me, centre-back just isn't one of those positions. Liam says, I'm not one for... I'm not saying for 1 second Allan will mirror the achievements of Roy Keane, but that's the type of player he is. Probably has got more going forward. He's a leader by example and a fighter, much needed. Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. And like I said, he is that type of player that, you know, we so desperately need in the football club. He's got that tenacity. He's got that passion. He's got that energy. He's got that desire. And yet, you're spot on. You know, like I mentioned before, Allan is the type of player that would have been a necessity in a football club in the 90s and the 80s. That heart, that passion, that energy, that desire. And it's sort of being faded out of football in this day and age because of, because of the technical side of things and teams building their sort of sides around technically good footballers and, you know, players that are good with the ball at the feet but aren't necessarily in players' faces. And you have to have a top level footballer if who's that good with his feet. Somebody like a David Silva who is that good that they don't really need to be tenacious. They don't really need to be in players' faces. They don't really need to be in the faces of the referees because they're that good on the ball. I still think it's a necessity to have a player like Allan in your football club. Certainly for a side like Everton who are massively lacking that edge, that cutting edge, that bit of snideness, that bit of fight in the midfield. You know, if we had players that were absolutely unbelievable technically and that could break the play down just with their ability and that could move play on and that could bring players into the game just with their ability, then it'd be absolutely fine. But ultimately we haven't got that. We haven't got any of that. And, you know, we're in desperate need of a player like Allan and somebody that brings that fight and that brings that energy and that brings that passion. And I'm so excited to see him at Everton Football Club. Look, again, like I said, he is so desperately needed at Everton at the moment. He is so desperately needed at Everton Football Club, and he's a player that Carlo Ancelotti obviously has got a lot of trust in, and he has a lot of trust in the manager, and you can't complain about that. You can't really go against that. Yes, his age, he isn't at the peak of his career, or he hasn't got that much room to improve in terms of obviously seasons in him. But if you get 3-4 decent seasons out of Allan and he brings that tenacity and he brings that agency and he brings that fight and he ups players' performances by 10 or 15%, then he is worth the £25 million. He really is. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit the like button. It does only take a second. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, share the live stream as well. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. Jeff says, happy joy afternoon. Would hope everyone is fine too. I'm good, mate. I'm good, and it's a very joyful afternoon for Evertonians. Hopefully the announcement will come within the next hopefully few hours, but if not, within the next day or so. Can't think of any effing names as Davis needs to leave. Why he's still here? Well, again, Allan coming in sort of pushes Tom Davis' position a little bit further out, doesn't it? And whether he'll leave or not, I don't know. But he's not going to be starting every week next season, that's for sure. Sportbot says, since our midfield is settled, are we getting a new goalkeeper? Well, it's not settled yet. It's not settled until the players officially sign. Sergio Romero has been linked. We spoke about him yesterday in yesterday's little video. Do I think we'll sign him? Only if we sell Jordan Pickford, because I don't think Sergio Romero is going to want to come in and be the number 2 at Goodison Park. You know, he's the number 2 at Old Trafford now, so why he'd want to come in and be the number 2 in another football club just doesn't really make much sense. LCFC Boyo, what's happening, mate? He says, hey up lad, how is, mate? How you doing? William says Keane is still a sellable asset. He is. Condick Van says we aren't getting anywhere if people are okay with having Pickford, Coleman, Keane and DCL in the team. Calvert-Lewin scored 15 Premier League goals yesterday with very little last season with very little service. I think he's done well. Condick says he played well for half the season and the other half he was dreadful, and he also says Keane needs to start more than DCL. Fair enough. LCFC boy says he's in Liverpool at the moment. Whereabouts are you, mate? What are you doing over these sides of the waters? Condick says Romero, Florenzi, Mina, Holgate, Dean, Allan, Gomez, James, Richie, Lozano, Keane. That's the team we need. What a team that will be. And says Allan will raise the level. It happened with our midfield with Tielemans. Better players will make other players work harder. You're spot on, and he will make other players up their game as well. Because if anything, players like Sigurdsson, players like Tom Davis, players like Fabian Delph, players like Jean-Philippe Gbamin as well. These players will know that their future is in jeopardy at Everton Football Club, because we're bringing in midfielders that play in their position and that play at a higher level, so they will up their game naturally. You're spot on. MPWS says it's 25 million with bonuses included. Okay, 25 million, there you go then. James says, hi Cam, says I'm late mate, that shirt is stunning. No worries at all mate, it is. It's very, very nice. It's even nicer in real life than it is on the pitches. For me, it's my favourite out of all of the shirts that Hummel have released. It's my favourite by quite a stretch. Sportbot says, I thought we were getting Herman Lozano on loan. That's gone a little bit quiet at the moment, hasn't it? Conding when he says Allan is coming to Everton, not Leicester. Yeah, he's just he's like he says, I'm agreeing with Cam of having that type of player like Allan will raise the level of your midfielders. Spot on. He also says, who are you more excited about, Allan or James? Allan, to be honest with you, mate, because I think he's more of what we need. Don't get me wrong, James has got that, James says Allan is a must. James has got that creativity that we're desperately lacking in the squad as well, and that, we desperately need. So don't get me wrong, James, it will be a fantastic signing if he comes in and if he works. If we can get consistency out of him, and he's going to work 110%, and he's going to bring back that form that we seen him have, after 2014 World Cup, and in that World Cup, then he'll be a fantastic signing. But for me, Allan is more of that type of player that we need, and we need that type of player desperately, and I'm absolutely made up that we're bringing him in. James says James is a big bonus. He is. William says, if the like, guys, if you could, 128 people currently watching, a massive thanks to everybody. It really, really does mean a massive amount to me. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, please do hit the like button, share the live stream, get your thoughts in the live comments. How are you feeling about the Allan transfer? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? I'm sure a lot of us are happy. I'm sure 99.9% of us are happy with the transfer, let's be perfectly honest. Jeff says, Allan is a perfect Everton player, committed, snide, class on the ball and never quits. You're spot on. Tuesday Delaney says, Cam has Luca Dean changed his shirt number. We don't know yet. We don't know the shirt numbers until we'll probably find them out within the next couple of weeks or so. Just before the Premier League season starts. Probably after the friendly against Preston next week. Conding when says, I'm glad Højbjerg rejected us. He's shite. I haven't noticed him. He's been in the league for 3 years. Jeff says, feeling good, buddy. Allan and Rodriguez is a huge upgrade. Exciting times. Mitchell says, mate, no one can complain with Allan. He will be a no-brainer for most of the top six. You're spot on, Mitchell. You're spot on. Tuesday says, wonder what Marcus Silva's up to these days. Julian says, hit the like button. Can't think of an effing name. Says, United the bus and they signed Van der Beek, even though we signed Allan for half that price. It was better than football. We don't get the respect we deserve. Well, who cares what opposition teams, fans and all of that say about us? It doesn't matter, does it? We're bringing in the players, so let them say what they want to say. Ladford says, I said we were relying heavily on Carlo's influence. I'm delighted we are seeing that come to fruition. We lack leadership, and it's obvious he has it. Spot on. And he also says, is that the goalkeeper top you're wearing? Yes, the third goalkeeper top, the black and gold one. Wayne says, Allan's got elephant bollocks. No fear. He certainly has. Anthony says, can't build a car without an engine, and that's exactly what Allan will have, an engine. That's a fantastic way of putting it. That is a fantastic way of putting it. Allan is the engine to our centre midfield, and at the moment our centre midfield has got the nice bodywork in Gylfi, who looks decent when he's at the top of his game, but on his own hasn't really got anything that blows your skirt up. It's got the little nuts and bolts in Davis and Delph, who don't really do much, but they're there. We need that engine. We need that player who pulls the midfield forward and who makes the whole sort of algorithm tick correctly. And Allan is that type of player. I cannot wait for him to sign officially, and I cannot wait to see him in an Everton shirt. That desire that he has, that desire to want to play for Everton, that desire to want to play for Carlo Ancelotti is something that you don't see very often in this day and age in footballers, and it's something that we desperately need as well. So I cannot wait to see him in an Everton shirt. James says the defenders will be automatically be more confident with Allan in front of them. I wanted him over the Corey, and Steve agrees with that one. Wayne says Michael Keane's 5-year contract. Multi-purpose channel says hi. JF says reckon we need a winger, Cam. Yes, ideally a right winger. I don't know whether we'll sign one this summer, to be honest with you, with obviously the Allan transfer and the transfer of James Rodriguez, but ideally we need a right winger for me, yes. Multi-purpose channel says Allan and Gomez. What a pairing that is. William says Arsenal have put Emi Martinez on the market for 10 million. That's the keeper. He is a good, solid keeper, to be honest. I wouldn't mind him. If you're enjoying, by the way, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new as well. It only does take a second. We really, really appreciate all of the support. James says Hammers, and he said then I'm getting used to saying Hammers. Everyone called James was getting Hammers. Now Hammers Haywood says Pickford will be okay this season, or he's gone. He will know this. Yeah, I think this is his last chance to fully prove himself, to be honest, or he'll be a player that Carlo Ancelotti is looking at moving on in the summer. Next summer, next season. Abigail says Allan will be the terrier in the midfield, biting at the ankles of the opposition players. He will give us that leadership. You're spot on. Can't think of any effing names. Says I think Allan will be creative. Hammers and Allan are both world class. I can't believe you're signing this level of player. Why do you keep digging out Sigurdsson? Davis leaves all day before Sigurdsson. Both of them, mate, I think they're both shite, to be honest, and both don't bring anywhere near enough as they should be bringing. So either or leaves first, or doesn't start. Lavard says, although early days, can you see him as a future captain? Absolutely, mate. I can see him as a captain of Everton Football Club within 6 months of him joining, to be honest with you, purely because not only of those leadership qualities that he brings, and that tenaciousness and that desire, but because Carlo Ancelotti is obviously very, very trusting in him, and he is very trusting in Carlo Ancelotti, so there's already that relationship there built. And if Ancelotti believes that there's no other player at the football club that brings what he brings in terms of leadership, then why not give him the armband? The multi-purpose channel says he has skills, leadership, and all of the qualities we need. You're spot on. Can't think of a name. Says Sigurdsson has been 10 times better than Davis. He scored more goals, more assists, created more chances. He has in previous seasons, but not recently to blow your skirt up. So again, I'm not digging Sigurdsson out for any particular reason. I'm just using him as an example. They're both in the same sort of boat for me. When says Davis wouldn't get a game with the kids on the field, he would be the last one picked. James says, I wanted Thiago Silva, but I have faith with our defenders with Allan in front. Me too, mate, me too. Again, you know, Allan is very much the perfect Everton signing at the moment. He is the perfect player, and it shows that in the 8 months that Carlo Ancelotti's been at Everton Football Club, he has assessed this club, he has assessed what we need, and he's looked at it and gone, we need a player like Allan, we need somebody with that tenaciousness, we need somebody that's going to fight, we need somebody with a bit of grit, with a bit of passion, with a bit of energy, with a bit of urgency, somebody that's going to look at the rest of the players and go, why aren't you giving it 110%? And the signing of Allan will also benefit your Richarlisons and your Mason Holgates, not only because, in Richarlison's case, because he's Brazilian and he's another player that he'll be familiar with, but he's a player coming in that Richarlison will be able to look at and go, well, he gives it 110% like me, that Holgate will be able to look at and go, well, he gives it 110%, because I do think that there has been certain times in the past that Richarlison has looked on the pitch sort of like, well, I'm giving everything here, and I can very clearly tell that there's other players on this pitch that aren't giving everything, so why am I giving everything? So Allan will be the type of player that Richarlison will look at and go, yeah, he's coming and he's wanting to play, he's giving it 110%, he's throwing the tackles in, he's fighting, he's got what it takes. I can build off that, I can play with, I can work with that, and it will give players like Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Mason Holgate, the younger players that are showing the quality, that sort of that confidence in that Ancelotti's making the right signings going forward. Jeff says Fernandinho is vital to City. Allan is our Fernandinho. Let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so. Hammer says don't compare Liverpool players to Allan all day for me. I'm just using it as that type of player that we seen a lot of 10-15 years ago. Wayne says, all we've got done in this transfer window is 2 new 5-year deal and a defender that shouldn't be good enough to sit on our bench. Brandon's out, can't believe he ain't sold 1 year. Well, in order to sell players, you need bids coming in, don't you? In order for players to leave, you need teams to want those players. And ultimately, if nobody wants Sigurdsson, if nobody wants Davis, if nobody wants Delph, if nobody wants any of the players if nobody wants Balassi, if nobody wants, Sandro or Besic, then they're not going to leave, are they? Because they're on contracts and they're not just going to walk for free. Multi-purpose says Allan, Rodriguez and Gomez, what a midfield that would be. I can't think of anything. Says our fans are so desperate to on flights. I love it, mate. I love it. I think it's boss. Cornet says, didn't know Allan signed already. What's happening, mate? Hope you're doing well. He hasn't officially signed, but it's looking like it's that way. He also says, how's it doing? I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. Jonathan says, Sergio Romero wants to come to Everton. I'll have to wait and see on that one. Can't think of an answer. Would you rather sign Decore or a centre-back? Decore. Probably Decore. Multi-Paper says all of his friends are Liverpool fans. Sorry about that one, mate. Michael says, love the share. Thank you very much. Kev says, we are linked with absolutely everybody. Juventus came in with a bid for Allan, but apparently too late. Well, he said no. He said, I don't want to go to Juventus. I want to go and play for Everton. I want to play under Carlo Ancelotti. I want to play in Royal Blue. He turned round to Juventus on the phone and he said, up the toffees, copite to gobshites. I'm going to play at Goodison Park with Big Don Carlo. See you later. And that's it. That is just it. And, you know, you literally can't fault him for doing that. No, I'm only messing. Hopefully he did say that, but I dare say he's not at that stage yet. Ben says, would you go for Emi Martinez? Yeah, depending on the fee, yeah. William says, to be fair, Brands has just got Allan and probably Rodriguez plus Nkunku, who looks decent. We should get rid because he can't sell other people's rubbish. Branthwaite, yeah, you're spot on as well. Where are we then? James says, left back and right back will be able to push up and help with those assistant general play. Your spots on. Jeff says, Brands is doing a sound job. Sanzo gone soon and probably he'll get others out too. I agree. Wayne says, enjoy your holiday, Cam. Where you off to? I'm going to Greece, mate, for a week. We'll still have content up on the channel and we'll still be giving all of the breaking news, so don't worry about that one. Wayne says, hopefully, Jeff, we've got too much dead wood. We have. Lavit says, could Allan be compared to Edgar Davids? I don't know yet, mate. Jeff says, no, he's more like Fernandinho. He probably more is like Fernandinho. But I don't know. Conde Grenade says, would you take Zaha? I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't. Paul says, Allan reminds me more of a technical Roy Keane. I agree. Spotbot says, have we still got Besic and Delph? Because I don't see Delph playing. I don't see Delph playing either, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't. Kev says, Everton fans can't help but be sceptical about transfers. Like you said, holding the share to Finch farm. That's it. And there's a reason for that. And I understand that reason. And that reason is because a lot of transfers have been done and on the brink of being done. And, you know, they've fallen through at the last minute for whatever reason. So I understand it. But I think we can all be very, very confident in this one. Michael says, I wore my home shirt around Newcastle today. Mistake. Ha ha ha. Wear it with pride, mate. Wear it all around the world. I'm taking it to Greece. And I'm going to stand there in Greece saying, I'll boss at Everton Football Club. When we announce the signing of Allan and Hammers, hopefully. Jeff says he's basically Peter Reid, very similar. Old man Willem says he'll bring a lot. He will. James says, I think Keane is okay, deserves the contact, playing well, got a call up even where we finished. I agree as well, mate, I agree. Wayne says, are you convinced by Keane and Holgate starting next season? As I ain't, especially with Pickford behind them. I think I'm convinced with Holgate. I think Michael Keane needs to add a little bit more consistency to his game. He was very, very good towards the back end of last season, but he needs to put in that form for the entirety of the season, and he said that himself. He said that in his interview when he signed the contract, that he needs to keep up that consistency throughout the season. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I think there's other positions that we need to address more urgently, not just midfield, right back, right wing, you know, before centre back, to be honest with you. If you're enjoying, please do hit the like button. Massive thanks to everybody in the live comments. We will be finishing up in a moment, but I really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter as well, MightyBlues YT. We'll be keeping up to date with all the latest Everton news and information there. 158 people watching, listening. The live streams recently have been absolutely unbelievable. I really, really do appreciate all of your support. If you're watching a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the YouTube comments and I'll be getting involved with as many of them as possible as well. Jeff says, having a decent midfield to screen the defence will help. Wayne, you're spot on. Sport Botcher says, Schneidlin and Sidibe played yesterday on BT Sport, did they? I didn't watch, mate. I can't lie. Conte when he says, like the vid, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. James says, Allan will bring calmness and help the whole team like Garnett, but technically better. I agree. Dodwick says, hi, Cam and everyone else. I hope everyone's doing well. Glad we're making our first boss signing. Hopefully, one of many. You're spot on, mate. Let's hope that it is confirmed. You know what? I'm just going to go on Twitter because I'm cautious that anything could happen between now and now in the next sort of few minutes and hours and stuff like that. So I just want to go on Twitter and make sure that I haven't missed anything. I don't think I have missed anything in particular. I think everybody's still sort of, we're still waiting and waiting for the official announcements and waiting for a little bit more information on it. So we'll keep everybody up to date. Like I said, there will be an announcement video on Allan, just me confirming the deal on our YouTube channel as soon as it happens, and giving again another brief opinion on the transfer. Conde Renee says, let Pickford be number 2. Dodgepick says, where me, I'm late. I'm not too late. Phil says, what are your thoughts on Memphis Depay? I wouldn't mind them, but it'd have to be the right price, to be honest with you. Keith says Depay's a good player, improved a lot since he left United. Andrew says, hi Cam, hope you're good and not too bad, mate. I hope we get Allan and Rodriguez over the line. Me too. Stewie says that top is looking top draw, Cam. Thank you very much, mate. I really, really like it. It's definitely my favourite. Carl says, hello, Cam. I think we need a striker. Do you agree? Not particularly, mate, in my opinion. Philip says, made up with Allan. Spot on. Michael says, I'm just happy to hear things going on, to be honest. Me too, mate. Donovan says, how similar is Allan to Garnett? In what aspects is he strongest as we get? He's similar in terms of that he will get about the pitch and he'll break the play up and he'll throw a tackle in and he'll make a nuisance of himself. He's much stronger. He's probably a bit more vocal than Garner. He gets in the faces. He'll probably lift the play a little bit more than Garner. Garner was like that quiet sort of midfielder that was absolutely unbelievable and was, you know, obviously a necessity to our football club, as we've seen over the last 12 months since he's left. But he wasn't really in the faces of players. He wasn't really somebody that you'd see on the pitch an awful lot getting involved with, as Allan is that type of player. Abigail says, I think Gabam will end up that extra centre-half when he comes. When he comes back, and he played there in the final season at Mines and in the African Cup of Nations. I think Romero will go to Leeds by his Bielsa will make him number 1. Yeah, potentially you're right. Jeff says that's because Allan is exactly like Garner but better on the ball. There you go. They are very, very similar, to be fair. They are similar. Keith says, God, we missed Gay last season, didn't we? We certainly did, mate. We certainly did. Stewie says, isn't it funny when we are linked with a player, every man and his dog is linked with them? That's just it, mate. That's just it, isn't it? We'll finish up the live comments. Football United TV says, would love to have you on our show. Great content. Thank you very much, mate. I'll definitely come on. Like I said, I'm going on holiday for a week tomorrow, but I'll definitely come on. If you drop us a DM on Twitter at MightyBluesYT, we'll get something sorted out for when I come back. Wayne says, fair play, mate. Don't know how you can read all the comments, but that's why you have the best Everton fan channel, as was the first to do the live chat and actually care what we say. Thank you very much, mate. Really, really do appreciate it. James does awesome work, Cam. Thanks very much, James. Ian says, Brands will get the prices down because he had signed for 3. Whoever comes in the first, the other 2 will push more for the move in case they miss out. Potentially, you could be spot on there. Kev says, I'll probably grab that top myself. It's boss, mate. It's absolutely boss. We just keep commenting, so Cam's dinner goes cold. It's not quite ready yet. I haven't even decided what I want for me tea yet. I'll have to think about it. Abigail says, I'd take Arias or Florenzi. Me too. Holly says, I wonder if we'll get recognised by the pundits against TalkSport. All they ever go on about is London teams. They're just idiots, aren't they? I don't listen to anything TalkSport say, to be honest with you. Liam says, I just want that Everton feeling back. I hope Allan and James can bring it. Drive it. Decore would help as well. And a right back will be willing to give Pickford 1 more year, lose a bit of deadwood and that. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. Abigail says, we are trying to add Balassi and Besic and Decore to get the price down to 25 million plus bonuses. You're spot on. Hopefully we can manage to get rid of them. Ollie says, oh, we just read that one. Dogby says, can't wait for the transfer announcement from some boss Greek Peninsula with you and a cocktail and sunglasses on swimming in the sea. Yeah, I'll be there on my bed, mate. I'll be there on my bed with the camera there saying, Everton are just fucking boss, aren't we? Allan signed, hopefully, touch wood. Rodriguez is signed, touch wood, and up the toffees. And that'll be it. That'll practically be it. No, hopefully Allan will have signed before. Hopefully we'll get some word before 6 o'clock tomorrow when I fly. No, my luck, it'll be as I'm on the bloody flight. Glenn says, do you think Delph will be left back cover so will be kept? And Ian says Delph can still be left back cover. He could be. I'm not a big fan of Delph, to be honest with you. I'd personally sell him, but he could be left back cover. I can see that happening. I can see that happening. James says, amazing. Imagine James and Luca Dean standing over a free kick. Jesus Christ, imagine that, mate. Imagine that. That would be unbelievable. Liam says, mate, you reckon James is in England like reports say? I don't think so, mate. I think they're just a lot of sort of a little bit of paper talk at the moment, but I do think there's positive talks going on. Udin says James Rodriguez already in England. That's the rumour, but I'm not 100% confirmed on it yet. We'll believe it, yeah. Liam says, just a quick one. Keep it up, lad. Thank you very much, mate. Really do appreciate that, Liam. Dave Walker says, just need one and get the positive vibes going. You're spot on. Hopefully it is Allan within the next couple of days. Philip says, enjoy your break, Cam. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. But just Beckham's like Mr. T on the plane. Need a few shots. I don't think they're doing alcohol or drinks on the planes now because of what's going on in the world, which is quite devastating, but, you know, we'll be alright. Eugene says, see you about the Toffees and enjoy your breakaway. Thank you very much. And Dave says, don't think the college worth 25 million and those 2 players. Obviously, with our situation, I'd take it, but Watford would be rinsing us again. Yeah, Again, I think it all depends on the Allan deal and the James Rodriguez deal as to where we'll stand with Decore. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit the like button. 173 people currently watching with 71 likes. Listen, it means an absolute massive amount to me. If you could hit the like button, it would mean a massive amount to me. If we could get to, I don't know, 80 before the end of the live stream, it would be greatly appreciated. A big thanks to everybody for getting in the live comments once again. I really do appreciate it, and a massive thanks to Carl for donating £20. Really do appreciate it, mate. You don't have to, but honestly it means so much to me. If you're watching this as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts in the comments and I'll be getting involved with as many of them as possible. I am going on holiday, but the content won't be stopping. We'll have a video out on Wednesday regarding fans returning to football stadiums, and like I said, we'll be keeping everybody up to date with the latest news. When Allan signs, we'll have an announcement video similarly with James Rodriguez and all of the latest information on that. Hopefully we'll have a little preview out for the Preston game on Saturday as well. So the content will still be coming. Still a video on Wednesday, and still hopefully a video on Friday. The next live stream will probably be a week tomorrow when I return, because I don't get back until late on Monday night. But we'll still have videos out. We'll still have content out. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. It really does. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Tuesday Delaney says keep brands. I agree, mate. Wormy says hit the like, guys. Thank you very much, Wormy. Wayne says when did they rinse us last time? Well, again, yeah, I think a lot of Evertonians felt a little bit rinsed by Richarlison, but I don't think we can complain about that now, can we? He's our best player and is worth probably about 3-4 times what we paid for him. Spudwatch says Anthony Gordon should break out this next season. I agree, definitely should. Wayne says have a good week. Blues, be safe. Thank you very much. Carl Molyneux, thank you very much again. Carl, he says have a good week. Blues, stay safe. Thanks very much. He also says enjoy your holiday, Cam. Thanks very much, Carl. Really appreciate that. William says take care. Thank you very much. Wayne says have a boss holiday, Cam. Thank you very much. Will do. Jeff says great live, Cam. Enjoy your holiday. Buy everyone up the fucking toffees. Really appreciate that, Jeff. Thanks very much, mate. Kev says nice one, Carl. Yeah, nice one to Carl, of course. Give Carl some love in the chat. Mike says JB from the Telegraph basically saying Rodriguez is done. I'll have to get on that in a minute, mate. I'll literally jump on that in a second. Dave says I'm taking Jerry from us for nothing. Stewie says cheers, Cam, top lad. Thanks very much, Stewie. Old Man William says sub. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that. Bobot says goodbye. Dave says Richie was well worth it. He certainly was. Liam says nice one, Cam. And Dosby says enjoy your halls. Thank you very much. Cheers everybody for watching. Really do appreciate it. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. Like I said, please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button if you have enjoyed as well. Big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments. If you're watching the YouTube video, thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as possible. Like I said, subscribe. We'll be keeping everybody up to date with all of the latest Everton news and information as and when it breaks. Follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with it as well, at MightyBluesYT. Big thanks for watching. Liam says travel safe, lad. Thank you very much. Will do. Dave says Rodriguez. Hopefully we'll hear more in the next coming days. Big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.